Jay here, Stretford, Paddock. This is the paper talk. As you can see, I'm outside Old Trafford as usual, and the weather, it's mild, but it looks like there could be rain, hence the reason I've still got my parker on. As you would expect, all the news this morning, or much of the news this morning, other than the England news, is focusing on Jadon Sancho and whether he's going to become a Manchester United player anytime soon. And it looks like this deal could happen this week. Who knows, possibly even today, or that may be wishful thinking, but we'll have to wait and see. Lots of papers reporting similar or almost identical stories when it comes to the Borussia Dortmund winger. Basically, I'm going to sum them all up rather than going this paper saying this paper saying that, this paper saying whatever. It's basically saying that Borussia Dortmund believe Jadon Sancho deal could happen this week. Manchester United remain keen on him. We know that a bid went in last week, our first ever official bid, I believe, for Jadon Sancho. Now, the issue there's two issues. One, it wasn't enough. I think there's a £10 million, £11 million disparity between what Manchester United have offered and what Borussia Dortmund want. It's rumoured to be around, United have offered around 67, 70 million quid. Dortmund want around at least 10, 11 million pound more, plus a further 4 million on add-ons. Now, Manchester United apparently are willing to get close to that figure, but they want to do it in instalments. They want to pay it over a course of time, and knowing this club, it's probably till in 2027. But Dortmund aren't up for that. They want more up front and they want more money as well. So there's the two main issues there. It's the amount of money that Dortmund, that Manchester United, are willing to pay for Jadon Sancho is around £11 million shortfall, with a further £4 million shortfall in add-ons, and also the nature of that deal. Manchester United wanting to do that deal in instalments and maybe not just in instalments, but pay some of it as incentives. You know, if he plays so many games, you get more and all that sort of stuff. Similar to the deals we've done in the past. We did a similar deal with Amad Diallo, of course. His fee rising up to 37 million, I think, if he hits certain targets. Famously, Anthony Martial, 50 million down the drain. Tony Martial scores again. Is the chant. He didn't cost 50 million. With add-ons, he would cost 50 million. In fact, it's likely he'll never cost us 50 million, because I think some of those add-ons were things like if he became our record scorer and if he won the Ballon d'Or. I'm not saying that won't happen, but it's unlikely. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that, though. But what we can see is that Manchester United and Dortmund are getting closer. The bid has gone in. Dortmund haven't just said, no, he's not for sale, or you're miles away. It's just this 11 million, 15 million, if you will, shortfall that needs to be made up, and the terms of the deal. We know that Jadon Sancho wants to come to Manchester United. We know that terms have been agreed with him. We heard from Fabrizio Romano last week, and we're going to hear from him again on this channel this week. He was telling us that Manchester United and Jadon Sancho had come to an agreement, that the wages were okay, they were sorted, better than okay, let's be honest with you, and that the deal was looking to be to 2026. It was a 5-year deal that the player's agent and the player himself was happy about. The club obviously happy about that one. That's the deal they want to give him. Now it just remains to be seen whether the club can get this deal over the line with the transfer fee. I stood here last summer, practically every day almost, that's how it felt, saying the same thing about Dortmund and Jadon Sancho and Manchester United, and the fact that Dortmund had this price. They had this price sort of set in stone of around £108 million, which is roughly 120 million euros. They had a deadline, and if Manchester United didn't meet that price by that deadline, that deal wasn't happening, and we know it didn't happen. Manchester United tried to feel them out, tried to play a bit of chicken, see if Dortmund would sort of, you know, fold or whatever, if you allow me to mix my metaphors, and they didn't. The deal didn't happen, and that deadline went. And once that deadline went, the journalists that you can rely on, the journalists that we spoke to, the likes of Patrick Berger over in Germany, the likes of Romano, the likes of Christian Falk in Germany as well, all said the same thing, that mattered to Dortmund. And once that deadline had gone, the deal wasn't happening, it didn't happen. This season, or this summer, we know there's around another deadline of around, I think it's 23rd of July. We know there's a deal, though. There's a figure there that is more realistic and is more like what Manchester United are willing to pay. United weren't willing to pay 120 million euros. We could be willing to pay around 90 million euros, 90 million pound, whichever way you want to look at it. I think there's sort of different figures. I think it's around more 90 million pound with add-ons. But United have until around, I think, the 23rd of July to get that deal done, and they have to structure the deal that is more in a way that is more appealing to Dortmund, because at the minute, the way that United want to pay it in instalments, it's just not happening. So we'll keep you posted on that. But there's been movement. There's been an official bid. The player wants to come. It looks like the distance between what we're offering and what they're willing to accept isn't that great. So the rumours are, the reports are, in many papers this morning, lots of papers, all the papers, that a deal is on the horizon. And it could be this week, possibly. Who knows? Maybe even today. Wouldn't that be good? If we can finally get this saga wrapped up and maybe move on to other signings like Saul Niguez. Now, this is the lad from Atletico Madrid, 26-year-old, obviously just helped them win La Liga. Saul is a player that Stephen Howson's always banging on about. He's one of his favourite players. Talking to Saul, have you ever seen Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul? I saw a great film yesterday with him in it. I went to the cinema and watched a film called Nobody with Bob Odenkirk in it, the guy who plays Saul in Breaking Bad, and it was mint. It's like John Wick meets Home Alone. Go and check it out if you get a chance. Anyway, back to the football. Saul Niguez could be available. It looks like Atletico Madrid are willing to sell him. This is what they do, don't they, Atletico? They usually sell some of their best players or one of their best players every summer, every couple of summers. Someone will move on. It's sort of their business model, and it works for them. They have to do it, and it works. We've seen it in the past. David De Gea, of course, the likes of Sergio Aguero, other players as well, Fernando Torres. Over the years, players have gone from Atletico Madrid, and it's what they do. Thomas Partey last summer, and they always seem to survive. They do better than survive. They're a pretty successful club, despite having to sell some of their best players. And it looks like Niguez could be available. The stories and the reports were that he's available for around the £50 million mark, similar to what Arsenal paid for Thomas Partey. But United will face competition for his signature from Juventus. Juventus apparently in for him as well, according to Mundo Deportivo. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. Manchester United are desperate for a defensive midfielder. Now, you can argue that Saul is an out-and-out defensive midfielder. I put this question to people on the Transfers Live the other day because I've seen a little bit of him, not seen a lot of him. For me, he seems more like almost a bit of an 8. I mean, get involved in the comments, let us know what you think his best position is. But someone who is more suited to playing in that defensive midfield role than the players we've got in a minute. We know that Fred and Scott McTominay are used by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as that double pivot. Neither of them are defensive midfielders, in my opinion. I don't know if it's my opinion. I think it's pretty much a fact. I think most people will agree. If you look at that, when we play them there together, because we can't play one on their own, because neither of them are defensive midfielders, and we're crying out for someone in that position that would allow us to play Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes hopefully in front of him. Paul Pogba sometimes obviously operates deep as well, but we just need that some person who can come in, that player can come in and play in that defensive midfield role. Is it Niguez? Is it someone else? We've been linked with the likes of Yuri Tielemans. I think that was the story I had last week. Maybe he's an option. People in the comments in the past have said they quite like the lad from Brighton. He's Bissouma. We'll have to wait and see. But Niguez could be available, but we will have to go up against the Italian giants, Juventus, for his signature. I mean, a lot of that will depend on whether Manchester United are going to have the money to go for someone like Saul Niguez. If we're obviously going to spend a lot of money on Jadon Sancho as well, but we need one. We can't just go out and get Jadon Sancho and think that answers all our problems. It doesn't. We need a midfielder. We'd probably argue as well we need a striker, possibly even a centre-back. We'll have to wait and see what happens on those fronts. Kieran Trippier is also being linked with a move as another right-back option. There appears to be a bit of a disparity, though, between what Manchester United are looking to pay and what Atletico Madrid are looking to receive. I love that word disparity. I've used it about 8 times today. Reports this morning and over the weekend that Atletico want around £30 million for him. We had this last week as well, and that United are looking closer to 15 million quid. We'll keep you posted on that. Trippier obviously played for England yesterday as well, so we'll see. I mean, it does seem a little bit much, that £30 million for a 30-year-old who would be coming here probably as our second choice right back. I can't see that one happening, but we'll wait and see. Also, speaking about Juventus earlier. Juventus, again, this is a story. I'm gonna downgrade this from a story to rumour. Yeah, it's not quite a story. It's not quite a report. It's a rumour, and the rumour is that Juventus, with Allegri back there, want Paul Pogba. They want to get Paul Pogba and they want to do some sort of swap deal with maybe Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo? You think I know his name? Cristiano Ronaldo, or possibly Paulo Dybala, coming to Old Trafford with a bit of cash in exchange for Paul Pogba. I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest with you. Some people say, yeah, make that deal happen, especially if it's Ronaldo. Dybala, we were going to sign him a few years ago. Maybe that would have been a good time for him to come. I don't think he's good enough for what we need. I'll be honest with you. I mean, he's a decent player. Is he going to take us towards a title challenge? I'm not so sure. And I think losing Paul Pogba, getting Dybala and some money that'll probably just end up getting, lining the Glazers' pockets, isn't the way forward. But we'll have to wait and see. In other news, Diogo Dalot got a call up to the Portugal squad following João Cancelo's positive test for COVID. So he's in the Portugal squad. He's had a bit of a mixed bag on this season. He went over to AC Milan, did okay, got a little bit of grief in the Italian press, but obviously has done well enough to get a call up to the Portuguese squad when there's been someone who's had to drop out. So that tells you that sort of how the level he's been at this season. Some people still want him back at Old Trafford. I'm not so sure that's going to happen. I know he's still a Manchester United player and he's went out on loan. I think Madrid, Milan even, haven't made a bid for him yet, or looks like he could be heading there permanently. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But he's with the Portuguese squad for the Euros. Juan Mata will take a pay cut, according to reports, to stay at United. United apparently still keen to keep hold of Juan Mata. We had this last week. I think it was Mike McGrath we had on the Tier 1 Transfer podcast. He told us that contract talks were ongoing with Juan Mata at Manchester United, but he will have to take a pay cut of around 170 grand down to 100 grand. So he's going to have to save someone. He's going to have to do some cost cutting. Might want to switch the kids to smart bright beans there, Juan, if you're taking a 70k a week pay cut. Feel your pain. But obviously still a lot of money. Probably a decent deal if he wants to take it. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. I love Juan Mata. I personally think it's time for him to move on. But who knows? I think it's one of those where if he did stay on, no one would be complaining too much because, you know, he's a lovely guy in here and we all love Juan Mata and also that experience that he brings as well. But if he did stay, everyone would be happy about that. If he did move on, I think it'd be the right time. So we'll wait and see what happens with that. We'll wait and see what happens with Jadon Sancho. We'll wait and see what happens with Paul Pogba and potential unlikely swap deals. We'll wait and see what happens with Saul Niguez. We'll wait and see what happens with Kieran Trippier. And as always, we will keep you posted. If any of those deals happen, we will go live straight away. We will hit the socials straight away. You will hear about it here straight away on Stretford Paddock. So make sure not only are you subscribing, but you're hitting that notifications bell so you get a notification as soon as we go live. And we will be live later on today. We've got all sorts going on. We've got Twitch watch-alongs for the Euros later on today. I think we've got Adam McCullough. He's here. We've got Joe Smith. He's going to be here. Me and him are going to be live later on tonight with the transfers live. So make sure you are liking, sharing and subscribing to Stretford Paddock. I've been Jay Marty. This has been the Paper Talk. It's starting to get little bit windy. Thanks for watching.